Has Afrobeats reached Korea?
Hi, my name's Faye.
Where are you from?
Like country or like in the UK. I'm from Nigeria. I'm currently studying, but I run a travel blog on the side. And last year I did a study abroad in South Korea.
We are 5 episodes into Tones, so if you've been watching from the start, you'd know that this is the part we'd usually cut to the interview. But first, let's spice this up. Throughout the conversation, we'll be blind tasting some foods. Some are Korean and some are completely random, I'll be honest with you. This isn't a game. This is very serious. On the right, we have Faith, who you've just met, a competitive queen not looking to back down. And on the left, you have me. To be honest, I'm not competitive. I'm just happy to be there. We got gifted these cups to professionally cleanse our palates in between each tasting. To make it extra hard, we've also got on our noise-cancelling headphones. This is us spending too long trying to sync our playlist before we gave up and put it in the hands of DJ Ray.
Okay, so what's your first song?
Wait, I have to pick money.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
This is good, you know. Is this ham? I'm gonna wait. This is ham. I'm gonna say ham.
Is it ham? Was it right?
Yeah. Yeah! I thought I should be drinking. So what was your first impressions, landing in South Korea? Like, I'm just imagining you landing alone in South Korea, just like, I don't know, with your suitcase. Had you visited before? Was this your
first
You
time.
hadn't even visited? You're so brave.
I keep saying
I don't know.
when I first landed, I told you, like, it was... Yeah, I booked my, like, transfer back to, like, my accommodation. Like, booking.com, I was like, I'm not trying to get stranded. I couldn't find it. Like, I was literally looking for it for an hour. When I got there, he was messaging me in Korean again. My Korean was struggling. Like, it was struggling. I didn't have Wi-Fi, no data. Like, I was actually really struggling. I think I actually started crying. Like, I was so stressed.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, I was so stressed. But I found him. Like, I didn't die. So, yeah, like...
What was your accommodation like?
My first accommodation wasn't that good, but then I ended up getting like a studio. It was really nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I stayed in a Goshiwon.
Oh, okay. What's that?
It's like a one room. It's really small. Like, it's really small. Like, literally when I'd like be sleeping and I kick my leg, it was like I'm at the other side of the room. It was really interesting. Room with a bed, and you can have a bathroom. I had to have a bathroom in mine. I'm so sorry. I personally didn't really like it, but I know like it's really popular among like students, and a lot of like exchange students stay there. I was meant to stay there for 2 weeks, but I stayed there for 5 days and I left.
Oh,
Yeah,
like,
I can't do it. I literally can't do it. But then it's so funny because I was able to get my house so quickly, like within 5 days of getting there. Yeah.
Oh, so you waited to there to get a house? Did
Yeah,
you
I don't
live alone?
understand.
Oh, yeah.
I got really lucky, so I had really lovely neighbours.
Oh.
Yeah, and they'd always say like, hi, how are you? I was like, hi, with
Yeah.
my little Korean, I can speak, like, hi. And then I'd run away to my room because it stresses me out to speak Korean. Like, it literally gets me so stressed out. But yeah, they were really lovely.
It's giving, I know, I'm just giving Golden Ramsay. Afrobeats reached Korea?
Has reached Korea.
Really?
It has reached Korea,
Okay,
yeah.
but when I mean Afrobeats, like they don't just play Rema Calm Down, because I feel like Rema Calm Down reached everywhere.
Everywhere, like it was everywhere, like everywhere. When I was in Cambodia, like even like my Uber driver was like singing, it's like calm down, calm down. I was like, okay, like. But they even had like an Afrobeats club, like called Blue Funk Scout. It was really good.
What's the diversity like? Was there black people there?
There's black people in Korea.
There's black people, really? Like,
yeah.
Did you experience any like racism, or did you feel any type of way?
I think what it is, very good question. I think people are curious.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
I've seen people like ask for selfies and stuff.
Oh, why would you ask that question? But honestly, I think the worst one for me was in Thailand. Like, because I was just like lying down, just reading my book. Like, I love to go on holiday, go to the beach and read a nice book and just like get lost in my world. But yeah, like I was just reading my book. And I came down. They didn't even ask me, they just like crouched down, they brought their phone out and I was just like, oh. I was like, oh. And yeah, and they took a picture. Like, yeah.
That is so funny.
I don't know what it is, but like, even like on the way back from the Philippines, or like on the plane, there was this guy who was like that opposite row to me, and he brought his phone and he just took a picture, and I was just like, oh my gosh, guys. And the thing is, I think I felt some type of way because it's like, I wouldn't do that to you, so I don't see why. And then I'm just coming back from I'm tired, like, I'm so tired.
No,
but yeah.
I remember, but the thing is, that happened to me in Italy of all places. When I was in Amalfi, there was this lady, I was just chilling, and then this lady, she was like Polish, and she came up to me, she was just like, please, can I just take a picture of you? And I was like, sure. And I thought she meant with me, but she just meant of me.
Yeah.
But also, what's funny is it happened to me in Birmingham as well.
I'm so sorry.
in this UK. And literally, I was in Birmingham for like this award show thing, and I was just like posing, and my mom was taking pictures of me. And then they say, she was like, you're so beautiful, can I take a picture? And she was like foreign as well. And I was like, sure. And she just took it, she was like, thank you, and left. But that, when you think about it, it's so weird, like they just showed their family. I met a black person today.
Do you ever get scared? Because it's like, you don't know how many people's camera rolls you're actually
on.
Like, that is so scary. That is so scary.
Yeah, would you rather know everything everybody else has ever said about you, or would you rather have an album of all the pictures that you're in?
Album of pictures? Like, maybe I'll find the good one.
saw that somewhere. I was like, imagine if you had an album, like, even if it's just your shoulder or like your hair or something. I want that album. Do you know what it is? From the texture?
That is such a good guess. I actually wasn't going to guess that. I think you're actually right.
Oh, I know what you can say.
I'm going to say cheese, but that's right. You know,
No, it could be cheese. I'll take the cheese or tofu.
I think tofu is right. They actually said, and it's like got a good texture.
It was tofu.
You actually did. How did you have that?
What kind of When I think of South Korea, Japan, I feel like the culture is so different. Is it?
I think because it's so different, it's so good. Like,
yeah. So what were your highlights of Korean culture? The food?
Definitely the food.
Really?
The food is too good. Like, definitely the food.
What's like the best Korean traditional meal?
I don't know if it's like traditional, but there's one called like kalbichim, which is like spicy braised short ribbed.
Ooh,
it was too good. Yeah, it was too good. I'm not gonna lie, their business fashion is too good. Like the way they look like when they're going to work is really nice. I think one thing that always like gets a lot of like people who are visiting is like the like modesty culture, I guess you could say. But like, cause we come with like our crop tops and stuff like that, and that's a bit like.
Me, that's always like crop top.
No, they do, like, but it's like the like older people, like ajumas and stuff, they'll look at you like,
wow.
like, why? Yeah. I stayed in Seoul, so it's like a city, but I stayed on the outskirts of Seoul. And I did go to like the countryside in Korea as well with some friends, and it was really good.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like different. I think the city is very like modernized, if that makes sense. But I think in the countryside it was more like Korean, like your traditional Korean like architecture and stuff like that. But yeah.
Wow.
So I was there for like 9 months. I could say a year, but I was there for 9 months. But you have like, I had a mix of like whether I had the snow, it was so cold, but I went home.
Snow?
There was snow from like, I think around November, December it gets really cold. It was like minus 15 degrees. I was so sad.
Oh my God.
I was so sad. Yeah, and then in the summer it gets really hot, like your usual 25, 30 degrees. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they have a bit of everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I honestly think it was so easy to make friends. So
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, so for this one, I just think I should give you guys like a bit of a hint. Is it? I think I need to give you a hint. It's a dry vegetable, so you need to guess what vegetable it is. Oh, okay. Vegetable. I want to guess. It's either sweet potato or beetroot. I'm going to go sweet potato. What's your answer?
If I had to guess, it would be sweet potato.
So the answer is sweet potato. You guys are really good at this.
It was like my first solo trip, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people that want to do solo trips? Because you make it seem, the way you downplay it, Faye.
Really?
Oh yeah, I just turned up in South Korea. I didn't know where I was gonna live. I booked a place for 5 days and hoped for the best.
I hope for the best.
Like,
I think if I thought about it too much, I probably wouldn't have gone.
wow.
Yeah, because you feel, oh, but this can happen, but this can happen.
Yeah.
But even see how you said about like in Birmingham, like someone took a random picture of you, like, I think it's okay. I think just go, because you have like so much like fun and stuff. Because when I went to Japan, that was like my first solo trip. I booked it like 3 days before. And then I actually had so much fun.
Oh wow.
And there's like things you can do on a solo trip that you can't necessarily, you wouldn't have the same experience with people.
Like what?
Back in Japan, I went to a theme park by myself.
What?
Yeah, I was so scared. But I was like, I'm gonna go to Disney World. Like, let me go. Like, so I went, but then I saw like a single rider's queue. Because apparently, I think Japan's such a good place to go by yourself because they have such like an okay culture to like go out and eat by yourself, and it's not weird. Like, you're absolutely fine. Yeah. I think it's kind of the same in Korea. So.
Wow.
But yeah, so I went to like the single rider's queue, and the queue was long, but then my queue was just half as long. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's a single rider.
You might meet some like amazing people. I don't know, I saw this couple on TikTok, they like did like solo trips to Thailand, and then that's how they met.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but not saying you should go abroad.
You said you were in a long distance relationship, weren't you? I was like, how was that? Like, Korea, UK, that's how long is the flight? 12 hours or so?
12 hours, yeah.
How did you find that? 9 months?
I came back quite often, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, I think there's a lot of people doing the same thing. Like, so I think it's okay.
Yeah.
And I think we made a lot of time for each other, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
that's
do movie nights, and he came, so it's okay.
Yeah. So you just have to live the spirit. Okay. I'm not eating that. I'm forfeiting that one. I'm not having that again. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've never tasted anything like that. Knowing this Asian food is probably something like fish sauce or something. And I just forfeited that one. I was like, it's okay. It's actually never that deep. What do you think it is?
Oyster sauce, maybe?
Oyster sauce.
I don't know if that's true.
I have no idea. Oyster sauce. Oh, got it.
I've never had it before. Like, actually just by itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. If people want to like follow you, where can they follow you?
ARA'S Diaries.